All right, welcome, Lindsay. It's good to have you on here.
Yes, thank you so much for having me, Trent. I love this.
Well, Lindsay, why don't we start by you introducing your role with John Hancock and what it is you're tasked to do there.
Yeah, so I am the Chief Marketing Officer for the US, as well as our global head of behavioral insurance across all of Manulife. So, probably most familiar to that is our John Hancock Vitality program that we have in the US. I've been running that program for the past 9.5 years, and it's just been just a labor of love, probably one of the best things I've done in my career to date. So, really excited to be talking about it today.
It's an incredible program, and Brooks has spoken about it here on this podcast. We've talked about it with actually the guys from Grail as well. So hopefully, if people have been tuning in consistently, they know a good deal about it and are selling it as well. But let's just start from the beginning. Brooks introduced Vitality. We were quick adopters here. We thought it was revolutionary for the industry. And it became a piece of John Hancock's life insurance strategy. Uh, so for those who maybe have a cursory knowledge of this or don't know much about it or have just heard things through the grapevine, can you describe what Vitality is and what the goal behind it is?
So Vitality, our John Hancock Vitality program was started, as you said, Trent, by Brooks Tingle and the life insurance organization at John Hancock back in 2015. And it really came from a revelation of we do so much for our customers and understanding what they're doing from a life insurance perspective and getting them the financial protection that they need. But then we were sitting back and saying, I hope they live a longer, healthier, better life. But we weren't doing anything to help our customers actually do that. And so back in 2015, we took the step to make life insurance about living, and we really turned it on its head. And we decided to take the approach of bringing a program to our life insurance customers that offers them incentives, tools, education, and rewards for the things that they're doing every day. And the program really started through this idea of how can we incentivize our customers to get to know more about their health, give them the tools to improve upon it, and then reward them when they do. All the while, they're saving money on their life insurance. Because we know at the end of the day that if someone is doing these things, and science has proven it, and I know we'll get into that in a little bit, the outcomes that we're seeing, but we know that by someone maybe taking steps every day or changing their diet or mental well-being or sleep, there's so many topics. It's beneficial to them, but it's also beneficial to us as an organization. And the Vitality program really puts that in top of mind for our customers because the more that they do with the program, the more points that they get. Those points equate to a status, and the higher the status, the more you save on your premium, as well as unlocking other benefits and rewards.
Respectfully, I love what you said. I think you're missing a piece there of the engagement that people have with their insurance because I use it, my family has it, my wife's getting a policy right now, and it's engagement every day. It's
Mhm.
not I get sent a bill once a month at the most and I pay it and I don't get a thank you. I am on the app every day. I am getting gift cards from you guys, points from you guys, something, and it's making my life actively better, like you said there as well.
No, and Trent, that's a great point. I mean, traditionally it's 1 to 2 times a year, maybe once a month, pending how you pay. Our customers, as you just noted a couple of examples, interact with us 20 to 30 times a month. And actually, on average, someone goes into our mobile app 4 times a day. I have a hard time thinking what other apps do I go into 4 times a day
Yeah.
that isn't maybe a work email, a text message, or something of that nature. And so, like you said, people are really engaged in this, and it's really changed that dynamic of building that relationship.
So I want to jump into that 4 times a day, and then we'll circle back to how big this has grown.
Mhm.
They're jumping in 4 times a day and doing what on your app?
So, some things that our customers are going in and doing, one is we have a weekly goal for each person, and that is based off of the person's activity. So primarily they're going in to say, have I reached my activity goal for the day? Is it syncing the right way? Those are the types of things people are going in. They're going in to see content. We have newsletters, we have newsfeed posts. So they're going in to see those. They're going in to spin the wheel because each Sunday evening into Monday morning, the program, that weekly goal we just talked about, resets. So they're going in to spin the wheel, or they're going in to use the gift card that they were able to just get. If they're in the Apple Watch program, they're going in to see, has my payment gone down this month? How many more points do I need to be able to have that payment go down to zero? Most recently, we found that they're going in with it's called a news for you category. So we recently launched this. It's a much more personalized content part of the program. So if you've been looking at recipes, it will show you our recent Vitality cookbook. If you've been looking at what's the right wearable for me, it will tell you about the new Whoop offering that we just launched a week and a half ago, that you get a discount there on your Whoop subscription. So it's becoming much more personalized to the individual based off of how they're interacting with us. So things that are going on in there. We also push information to our customers through what we call nudges or push notifications. And so that also prompts someone to say, oh, you did something new with the Grail Galleri test. Let me go find out what that is. And we're very strategic about making sure that all information points someone back to the mobile app experience.
So I think you brought in a lot of the pieces of the next question I'm going to ask, and which is great for me. This isn't really a feature of life insurance. A lot of other companies are trying to do similar things, like adding in Grail riders, or health insurance companies trying to do a small benefit if you're active. But no one has a platform like this that you have an active user base of that's going on 4 times a day. And that's grown from the 10 years you've been on here. So let me pull up the slide that I know you like to share, and we can dive in and talk about each piece of this.
Sure. Yeah, while you pull that up, Trent, it's a great way of showing the evolution of our program over the past 9.5 years.
So here we have it. You launched and just started off with what? Was it just the tough seminars at that point?
When we launched in 2015, we were strictly two parts to our program. One was physical activity, and the other was biometrics or doctor's visits or screenings. Those were the ways that you earned points to then get that status to save on life insurance premium savings. That's always been a constant. In 2016, which is the second bubble on there, that's when we launched into nutrition. And we went and we did a very big search actually to find out world leading of nutrition experts. And they actually happened to be right in our backyard in Boston, the Tufts Friedman School of Nutrition, which was lovely. So we sat down with them. Dr. Dariush Mostafarian, who we still have a very great partnership with, he was at our symposium a week and a half ago. They brought on recipes. They brought on seminars, webinars that people can listen to and gain points. We then added a program where you can get points for shopping at the grocery store, and you'd actually get dollars off right at the grocery store on your receipt for buying fruits and vegetables. We then morphed into, okay, we know about nutrition. We have this idea of physical activity, and you'll note throughout this journey of 9.5 years, these have both evolved. So physical activity took another turn in 2016, 2017 when the Apple Watch was released. Apple Watch wasn't even something on our radar in 2015 when we launched, but as soon as it came out, we worked with Vitality to get a partnership to create this Apple Watch program, which essentially, I'm sure you're familiar, Trent, but for some of the listeners, if you can join into basically a 24-month contract to work your Apple Watch down to zero based off of closing your activity ring. And that allows our customers each month, they're checking in, they're doing their workouts, they're closing their ring, they're working it down to zero. You don't pay any more than the watch. There's no interest. It's not those things. It's essentially a way to keep you engaged over a long period of time. And then we started to think about, as you morph into the different parts of overall health and well-being, mental health was something that was really missing from our program. And this wasn't something that customers, we're looking at verbatims all the time. We're looking at testimonials. We often connect in with customers. They didn't say, I want you to have meditation and sleep. They said, have you thought of a way to connect with customers through mental well-being? Or have you thought of a way of doing something that is outside of the norm, if you will? And for us, that led into a couple different partnerships. One is with Headspace, where we do things for meditation, for sleep. And then another is as we've evolved, the Aura Ring is not only a device that we offer, but also it's one of the most used devices for sleep and also one of the most accurate, as well as the Whoop, which is the offering that we just started a couple weeks ago. So we've continued to add these different pieces. I don't know, Trent, if you want me to keep walking through or just highlight a few across the spectrum here.
Yeah, let's keep highlighting a few, and then I'll circle back and ask some questions about some ones that interest me.
Perfect. So a few that I'd like to highlight. One is back in 2018, we introduced what we call Vitality Go. And essentially, reflecting on where we started this conversation, Trent, I talked about how we really had a revelation back in 2015 on how we weren't doing anything to help our customers live a longer, healthier, better life. So we made that change with Vitality. But then it was upon election. It was upon the insurance agent or advisor telling the customer was picking it as a rider, and then they were doing it. And we were at about 30% election at the time. And we said, gosh, if we know that 9 out of 10 consumers prefer it and 7 out of 10 to motivated, 3 out of 10 wasn't the right number for us. And so we decided in 2018 to go what we call all in. We launched Vitality Go, which means we no longer sell life insurance in the US without Vitality on it. So Vitality Go is a complimentary program. It's points driven. It has content, it has education, it has a few nuances of rewards, but it's more in the way of discounts. And you earn the same. You earn your status, but you don't get that life insurance premium. You don't get the Apple Watch benefits. You don't get things of monetary value. However, you have the opportunity to upgrade at any time from Go to Plus. And with that, your status carries over. And so that was really interesting to us. So we now 100% sell Vitality. We have a complimentary version and then the Vitality Plus version, which I'm sure, as you know, it's $24 a year. It's not a big expense to be able to add for all the benefits that you get, including that savings on life insurance premium, and you can upgrade at any time. We've had many upgrades. We also allow people to get rid of Vitality Plus and go back to Go. And I'm proud to say we've had zero. Because once people are in the program and they're seeing the benefit, they don't want to lose it.
Yeah.
So as we've really, continued on this journey, we all lived through the pandemic. What I'm really proud of through what we went through as an organization is how we served our customers in that time. Because if you think about what our program was about, it was about going to the gym, going to your doctor,
Mhm.
going to the grocery store. It was about getting out and doing things, and all of that shut down for everyone. And we had to find a way to really wrap our arms around our customers and say, we're here for you. So we sent them masks, not big John Hancock masks, but a little bit of logoing and branding there that we got some really nice feedback on. We were able to do that. We said, if you take a picture of your home gym, we'll reward you points for that. We said, if you do at-home biometrics, we'll give you points for that of being able to, and we offered those programs to our customers. We offered points for getting the COVID vaccine if that's something that someone wanted to do. So we adjusted our program for that, and it was really well received by customers, both at that time and now since. And a few other pieces that we've added that I really want to highlight, and you mentioned at the top of the call, Trent, that you've had Grail, people from Grail on this call who are just a tremendous partner of us. We were the first life insurance carrier to launch the Galleri test to customers. And that's something that we're very proud of. I very much recall the day. I get many, many emails from Brooks Tingle, but one of them I recall, it was in December of 2021, and it was a call from him. It was an email from him saying, you have to watch this news article. And it was about Grail. And it was the story of their test, and it was a story of the results of the customer, Jim, who I actually got to meet about a year and a half ago. He's in
Oh, wow.
remission. He's doing very well. It was like meeting a celebrity.
Yeah.
And it was the story of how he found out he had stage 2 pancreatic cancer. And the doctor went on to say it was like winning a lottery ticket. And Brooke said, we have to find a way to get this to not only our customers, but more awareness for consumers, for Americans. So we very quickly, we were on the phone with Josh Offman, who's the president there, and we were meeting with them in March, and we rolled out our program very shortly thereafter to get the Galleri test to our customers. And what was really unique about that is the relationship that it built not only with Grail, but that it built with our reinsurance partners, to be able to be in this together, because they're too obviously saving, they're saving in the benefit of someone finding cancer early when it can be cured. And this is really something that certainly hits home for many people. And we've continued on that journey, Trent, of this idea of how can we bring more things around prevention and early detection to our customers. And most recently, where we've brought that is through the Prenuvo Full-Body MRI scan, a tremendous partner of ours. I was actually just with Andrew, their CEO, last week at the health conference, and we were just talking about how we're just getting started in the partnership that we have. And so the Prenuvo offering is, I'm not sure if you've been through it, Trent, full-body MRI scan, and it picks out, it's a really great experience. It gives you all of your own images and documents and things that you can then share back with your doctor. But 1 out of every 20 MRIs finds something. And so if you picture every 20 people going through this, for it to find something that someone wouldn't have alternatively known about, that's something that's really beneficial for someone to be able to have that information. So we're continuing to add a lot of different pieces in that. You'll continue to see more in that. But what I really like about what we've done is, regardless of what has happened over the past 9.5 years, we as an organization have been there for our customers and for our partners to say, we're going to be bringing you the latest and greatest in this science and technology space. We're going to be bringing you the best. We're going to find the right experiences for you and make sure that it's something that we're proud of, that you can get benefits from, and that is really giving you a unique experience. And one final point is that it doesn't matter, Trent, when you've bought. It doesn't matter if you were, like you said, firm believer right out of the gate in 2015. I remember getting those applications from you guys. It doesn't matter if you bought then or if you bought yesterday. You get everything that's a part of the program. So it goes backwards and it goes forwards. And that's something that's really, really unique about what we do, is that we want to make sure that all of our customers are getting all of the benefits and rewards that we're able to bring to them.
And that's how it should be. Something I'm impressed with John Hancock is when you look at something and say, that's how it should be, that's the way it is. And that's not true for a lot of things in our world today. That
Mhm.
it how it should be is not how it is. But it's true. You get everything moving forward. You get all the benefits of the new technology, the new additions, the new reward systems, and it's been great. It's always exciting to have something added to this list. And before we dive into the pieces that I find interesting, what have the results been? You said you can measure the results scientifically. I know you have some pretty impressive biometric results to share.
Yeah, so we've actually had really strong results of our customers actually shaping their outcomes. And what's unique about it is this isn't, data is a really important part of this whole conversation, Trent. And so I want to highlight this is all information that customers have shared back with us, by way of them wanting to share it with us through the program. And that's really special, because I find that data can be a really interesting topic. What we find is that when you're providing data and you get something in return,
Mhm.
that's when data becomes a mutually beneficial part of your relationship. And that's what our customers have always said back to us is, I don't mind sharing. I actually enjoy it because you're giving me tips on what I can do to improve it, and I'm seeing the outcomes. And so it's become a part of this relationship that we've been talking about, particularly in terms of health outcomes. We've seen over 80% of our customers actually improve their baseline health year over year. So that is by way of biometrics, that's by way of glucose levels, that's by way of blood pressure, whatever that may be. I can break it down a bit more, but that's over 80% of our customers have done that. That's a tremendous amount. That breaks down into 76% of our members have said they're at a healthier weight. So another part of our program is someone can set goals for themselves and they can say, I'd like to lose X pounds, or I'd like to do whatever that might be. Particularly weight is always something that becomes top of mind. And we've seen 76% of customers be at a healthier weight. We've seen 44% get their blood pressure in range. So that improvement in blood pressure is something obviously critically important as we look at that. We've also seen an increase in steps. So you mentioned, Trent, you're very familiar with the program, so you know that there's that 5,000, 10,000, 15,000, right? We see such tremendous tweaks from like 4,800 steps to that 5,000 around that like 10 p.m., 10:30 p.m. time when someone must just look at the program, look where they are for the day, check their Apple Health maybe, and then they go ahead and take those steps to reach those thresholds. So we actually have our customers taking more than 2,000 steps a day, more than the average American, because of the incentives that they have for doing so and the motivation that they have. So when you look at overall health, healthier weight, increase in steps, blood pressure and range, all of those things are extremely beneficial to someone's overall health.
And the cynic can say, well, it's healthy people opting into this, but this is for all your policies. These aren't people opting in. And I know the yearly biometric tests share this out, that weight is getting better year over year, and same thing with blood pressure. So it's all impressive. And that's from people actively participating. So how do you onboard people? Is that all on the agent? Are you sending out things to start onboarding clients? How do you make sure that people are starting off on the right foot, getting involved?
It's a key piece to the program, Trent, and I'm glad you brought that up, because while we rely, and I shouldn't say rely, while we allow obviously the agent to be able to do this, we don't want it to be a have to. We want it to be a natural part of the conversation, and then also something that we are very much there in the moment to help with. So John Hancock has a team, they're called VPCs, Vitality Plan Consultants. And they're there. They can actually be, you can go right online, you can book a time with them and set up what we call an onboarding call. And they're able to sit down with maybe the agent and the client, or just the client, however someone would like to do it, to walk them through, let's log on. Let me explain this program to you. Let me explain to you the benefits. I'm here if you have any questions. Let's download the mobile app. Let's understand, traditionally, you know this, right? When you go through life insurance, you go through underwriting. Most of our customers through traditional underwriting start the program at silver, if not gold, because of their biometrics. And so they're all in there just waiting for the person to register. And so if you think about the power of that, just registering and accepting our terms and conditions, you can already start to get those premium savings year one, which has a tremendous tail on the impacts for the overall policy that you've purchased. So we make sure that that is known. And so we make sure that that relationship, again, is at the onboarding part and then there for any questions along the way. We also have some videos if someone wants to do it on their own, a how to, what is this program, how do I register? We have all of those tools available, but the VPCs, the plan consultants, are available and ready to take the calls. I've actually been on some calls myself for people that want to actually speak with me or someone from my team directly. I'm happy to do it and walk someone through it and talk about all different components. So it's something that we're all very energized about and happy to help in all those different ways.
Great. Well, diving into these pieces of the platform you've had, it seems like there's a few generations to it. First being Apple Watch and nutrition, just making sure you're measuring people's activity levels and what they're consuming. And then we start going into widespread acceptance of data from Strava, Samsung, and going across the board and getting more personalized. Now introducing Aspire for people with diabetes, and looking for people to get their vaccinations as well. And now we're moving into a stage of preventative medicine, it seems.
Mhm.
And so I want to point out a few things in here that just stick out to me. What impact did the Apple Watch have on pushing this program forward? It seems like it was the first big step for you guys.
Mhm. Yeah, the Apple Watch was something that was so unique for us because when we started to look at that program, there were two components that it introduced. One, it was a new way for us to connect with our customers on a weekly and ongoing basis. It was come in, see if you're getting your points, and by the way, we pay the upfront cost, right? We're making sure that Apple is getting their dollars for the watch. And then it's the customer that then is whittling their cost down to zero on that monthly basis. What was also interesting is we saw an increase in long-term engagement because it's a 2-year commitment. So for someone coming in a couple of months, they take a month or two off. Oh, yeah, I forgot about this thing. Let me come back. It really started to eliminate that because someone wanted to get the watch for zero. And so they had to engage for 2 years. Now you can look at many, many studies, but it generally is about 9 to 10 weeks to build a habit. So 2 years in, you've built the habit, not only of the physical activity, but of the coming to John Hancock Vitality for your information. And also, more importantly, remembering the advisor, the firm, whomever that was that brought you this type of life insurance, you're remembering them so much more from this experience that you've had. And so it's that propelled us in a lot of different ways, both from an engagement perspective, relationship with customer, but also relationship with our distribution partners because of that, because of what that brought to us. It also set us apart from a partnership perspective. So we're in a collaboration with Apple, and I use that word specifically. It's something that's very specific for us, that it's a collaboration with Apple, and that's because we're working together on this. And particularly, what they shared back with us when we did a survey was that we brought Apple new customers. So they saw people who had never purchased an Apple product before from John Hancock Vitality said, gosh, I want that watch. So you know what I have to do if I want that watch? I got to get the phone. So I
Mhm.
got to get the phone before I can get the watch. I'm net new to Apple. Well, gosh, if I have the phone and I have that, you know what else I need? Probably need the iPad. On average, our customers went from 0 devices to 5 in their home. And Apple was, as you can imagine, over the moon to be able to have these
Right.
new customers that they never thought of, that they never thought they'd tap into this life insurance industry for net new customers. So that's the power that something like that can bring, not only to our industry, but in general.
Now, the next piece is the Aspire. I think this is an incredible addition onto the platform because it's something Brooks has talked about before of Vitality meeting you where you're at and rewarding you for improving. And it's something you said, this isn't for high-end athletes. This isn't for marathon runners to do well at. This is for
Mhm.
everyday people. And so can you expand on what Aspire is doing for people living with diabetes?
Yes, Aspire is near and dear to my heart from when we brought that to market back in 2019. And you said it well, Trent. It's a program for people living specifically with diabetes, whether that's type 1 or type 2. It's meant for both. And what it focuses in on is what you need to do when living with diabetes. And so that is regular visits to your doctor, that is nutrition, that is physical activity. And then it's also the improvements you need to be making along the way. So looking at your A1C level, whether that's access to a BGM, which is a blood glucose monitor, or a CGM, a continuous glucose monitor, all of those things are available to you through the Aspire program, where and when you need them. But what's very unique, particularly for our customers that have access to Aspire, is that you have specific points that are about the improvements that you make. So if you start the program with an A1C of 9 and you need to get down to a 7, that sounds like a really far journey for someone. And so what we've done is said, you know what, you don't have to go from 9 to 7 in a month, but how about you go from 9 to 8.7? And
Hmm.
we'll give you points for that. How about you change your behavior and you go from 8.7 to 8.6, and then you maintain that for 2 months. And let's work with you to go on this health journey. And it was about rewarding those individual behaviors for what someone had to be doing, particularly living with diabetes. So it's really interesting. There's a coaching component to it. There's special I shouldn't say special, I should say unique content, particularly for people living with diabetes, that we can serve up different recipes, things of that nature that really bring this to life and have it stand out from a personalized experience.
Right. And then the Gallery and Prenuvo. We've talked a lot about Gallery, so I want to more highlight Prenuvo.
Mhm.
Um, it's more than just cancer. With this full body MRI. So dig in what you're looking for there.
So Prenuvo is an offering we've brought to our customers. There's two parts to it, Trent. One is it's at a discounted rate. So our customers receive $500 off a full body MRI scan. And it also gives them front of line access. So if you actually go to schedule a Prenuvo full body MRI scan, you could be waiting weeks. Some of our customers are telling us that they've been waiting months. And we actually, part of our partnership is that our customers get that front of line and availability that they have. So that's really unique because we want to make sure that if someone's doing this, normally when you've made this decision, you want to do it fairly quickly. And we know that. So, and having gone through it myself, you want to get through there and you want to get your results, which come very quickly. They come in about, I'd say 48 to 72 hours.
Yeah.
So that was one part. So it's the discount off the scan, it's the exclusivity of getting in kind of that first in line. And it's that part of the program that we're offering for the customers. The Prenuvo scan looks for over 500 conditions. So while the Galleri test looks for over 50 types of cancer, which is tremendous for a cancer blood test,
Hmm.
this looks for 500 conditions in totality. And so as you go through this, it's not only looking at what's happening in one part of your body. It literally goes from ankles to head, looking at all the different pieces. And what's amazing is the amount of information that is shared back with the customer, not with John Hancock, not with us. It doesn't come to us at all. We actually don't even know which customers take it. But what goes back to the customer on their mobile phone, once they've downloaded the mobile app, is a fulsome report of every part of their body. And information about it. It breaks it down into what I would call more common terms versus doctor language or speak. And then a recommendation as to what they should potentially do or talk to their doctor about and when they should go for their next scan. And it's all shareable. So I was personally able to share my full 16-page PDF report directly with my doctor, set up a telemed appointment, and we were able to walk through it in totality and just decide what next steps were for me based off of the information that I now had.
Incredible. It's a
Thanks.
great, great program. All right, let me stop this share and hop back on here. Um, so I mean, it's just mind blowing how much you've added on, and the breadth of this platform you've built. Um, and we've dug into a ton already, and so I'm just kind of catching up where I'm supposed to be on my questions. But um, customer feedback. I know you've talked a little bit about how much people are liking it, but you have a metric, the rNPS,
Mhm.
measuring how much people like John Hancock. And can you share a little bit about what the results have been?
Yeah, so rNPS, to break it down for our listeners, it's called the Relationship Net Promoter Score. And so essentially the question that drives this result is what is the likelihood that you would recommend John Hancock Vitality to family or friends? It's so the only part that changes industry product to product is that part where I said John Hancock Vitality. So we asked that question, what's the likelihood that you would recommend? And the score goes from 1 to 10. And you can range anywhere from a negative 100 to 100. So that's the scale. And traditionally, life insurance has been around that negative 20 of the likelihood that they would recommend it. And you can imagine, right, what you go through to buy life insurance, the underwriting process, the length that it takes. And you're only hearing traditionally, right, privacy notice and a bill. So when we set off on this, we said that's one of the key metrics that we are going to be looking at as an organization. And when we started to do this, we were in the teens and we were very, very proud of that. And we still should be because we were really changing from negative 20 to say 15. That's a huge shift in the relationship that we've been building. Our most recent rNPS, which was just taken the midway through 2024, our Vitality customers were at a score of 71. And so when you start to look at traditional being in that -20 area to where we are just a few months ago, 71 is the relationship score that we have with our customers. That is an unheard of rNPS, not only in the life insurance industry, but in general. It's a
Right.
very high net promoter score of the likelihood to recommend. And it's something for us that actually last year we were at 58. So even over the course of 12 months, we've continued to increase from that 58 to 71 for our Vitality customers because of all these different things that we're doing to build a much stronger relationship.
Vitality customers are evangelists for this. There's in the work that we do, it comes up in conversation out in public, and if there is somebody who has a John Hancock policy, they're very excited to talk to me about it.
I love that. That's awesome.
And I use an analogy for you guys of it's like a Porsche. Porsches you can drive every day. You service them like a normal car, and they'll last forever. You might have a different car out there that maybe will perform a little bit better if you're under the hood all the time and you're getting it serviced and you only drive it once a week. This is something you live with and you enjoy for a long time.
Absolutely.
Now we're going past the platform and we're going into real live events. You guys are now doing longevity conferences. And in fact, you just had one, what was that, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago?
It was 2 weeks ago, yes.
2 weeks ago. I've heard great things about Dr. Matthew Walker's talk on speech, Dr. Steele talking about aging, and Dr. Genova. Actually, Dr. Genova, people can't stop talking about her memory talk.
It was amazing.
So
Yes.
for you, what are some major takeaways from this conference?
Yeah, so as you said, Trent, this was our second Longer Healthier Better Symposium. Our first one was last year in September, and our second one was just 2 weeks ago now, which feels like forever ago and just yesterday. But the takeaways that I took from it, one was from, and you just spoke of her, Dr. Lisa Genova, her talk of it was very specific on, why it's hard for us to remember, but also why we forget. And so many of the different ways that she explained how our memory actually works and shared these are alerts to look for early set Alzheimer's, for dementia, for things. And she said, just because you forget something doesn't necessarily mean the first thought should be, oh, I must be experiencing what it's like. I must be, I must have early onset, or I must be on this path to dementia. I need to take extreme measures. Her message was very simply explaining your brain as a bunch of different neighborhoods. And my favorite one that she gave as an example was if you're up next to your bed, you're about to pick up your book before you go to sleep, and you think, shoot, my glasses are downstairs. You walk downstairs, you're now standing in your kitchen, and you think, why did I come down here? Happens to me quite often, not just in reading glass situation. And she said the reason for that is because now you're in your kitchen. And so your mind has gone to a different neighborhood. And it's in cooking, it's in cleaning, it's in food organization mode. And so you're not thinking, I came down here for my reading glasses. You're thinking, was I hungry? Am I here because I forgot to do something in the kitchen before I went to bed? You think, shoot, I'll go back to where I was and I'll remember. And sure enough, you go back to the neighborhood and say, oh, I was looking for my reading glasses. And she said, but now that you're much more aware, you're going to say to yourself all the way down the stairs or down the hallway or wherever you're going, I need my reading glasses. I need my reading glasses. I need my reading glasses. Because she said, now you're paying attention. You weren't paying attention before. You did not convert that thought to a memory of, I need to go find my reading glasses. So that's my job right now. You had a thought, you didn't convert it, you went off to somewhere else. And so you didn't remember. And that just stuck with me so much because it happens to me quite often. I said when I did the prep call with her, I said I'm very much looking forward to hearing you talk about this because I do it quite often. But that was something that really resonated with many people. The other was Dr. Walker talked with us about sleep, and personally for myself, I'm a really great sleeper. I take pride in my sleep. I'm really good at it. But when I travel, it's a little bit different, especially when I travel in time zones. And he gave some really great tricks for that about how, when and how you need to adjust to time zones, that you can actually bank sleep going into a trip like that versus catch up on sleep afterwards. So your
Mhm.
body can actually build up sleep that you can use when you're traveling. Um, and it was just a really interesting for someone who does travel a lot. It was a really interesting piece, particularly about sleep and building up that bank and what it means, the temperature, all of these things impact it. So those were two big components that I personally took away from the conversation that are coming to mind for me right now.
And how are these conferences going to tangibly affect vitality moving forward?
So for us, what we wanted to do with this symposium was we wanted to bring together the leaders in their fields, whether it's science, technology, sleep, you know, or memory, any of those different pieces. And we wanted to bring that information to our distribution partners. And that's who was in the audience.
Mhm.
We also had our reinsurance partners there. We had colleagues from Asia, colleagues from Canada, our group benefits, all of these different areas. And we wanted to share the information. What we hope our audience walked away from there is that they realize which organization, which company brought them this content and information and access all in one space. And that's John Hancock.
Mhm.
And we hope that part of that message that people left there with was this is information I can use to talk to my clients about longevity, about the impacts that sleep has on their overall health, about nutrition, about personalized medicine, and what Dr. Hyman talked about in terms of what you need to do from a diet perspective, and that the food you're putting in is actually the medicine that your body is getting. And so we're looking at all of our different speakers. If they're part of an offering, we're looking at what they're doing to bring to our Vitality customers. But it was mostly about that hope that our audience walked away with a firm belief that John Hancock is the leader in this space. We're the most innovative. We are the partner to be with. And that they walked away with something that they can bring to their customers because of that symposium that makes them realize the life insurance and the protection that they need, and hopefully at the end of the day, they're choosing John Hancock Vitality for that.
Great. Now, final question for you.
Sure.
The future of vitality. Can we get a glimpse into what's coming next with you?
You can. So we're actually doing a lot of different things. Two areas that I want to talk about, Trent. One is this area of personalization. We talked about it a little bit earlier, but we have more to do. And so when we think about those weekly lifestyle goals, that news for you feature, earlier this year, we did your Vitality Year in Review. That was all about you. We now need to take that to the next level of personalization. So I talked a little bit about sleep. I'm very happy with the sleep that I get. I get those 5 points every night because I'm always above the 85 with my Aura Ring. So that's not really a focus area
Stop
for me.
bragging about that. That hurts.
But okay, so this is a good example, Trent. If you're far from the 85, we should be rewarding you for small increments to get there, like we do with our Aspire program. We
Yeah,
should be saying if you're at a 60, don't get to 85, get to 65.
right.
And when you build up that habit, get to 70. And take people on this journey of what we've done, like the John Hancock Aspire program, of making it personalized for what you need for your overall health. And that's really that next level of personalization that we're getting to. Another is you're going to see us continue to expand into this prevention and early detection space. We're looking at a lot of different partners there, making sure that it is this balance of what is happening around us, either with our existing partners or with net new partners, but
Mhm.
really understanding the impact on someone's overall health and how can we continue to do that. We're looking at CGMs, continuous glucose monitors for people not living with diabetes, and what's happening with your glucose level. I'm actually testing one of those right now, Trent, and I can tell you my body loves black coffee, which is very exciting for me because I'm a huge black coffee drinker. But it's telling me when I should be eating foods and when I shouldn't be. And it's telling
Oh,
me in which order should I be eating foods. And
yeah.
so it's really interesting. But my results would do nothing for you or anyone else.
Right.
And so it's really making that personalized approach to your overall to just your overall well-being. So those are a couple of things that we're looking at that you're going to be hearing more about.
I'm excited for that continuous glucose monitor. That's something I could use.
Yeah, it's very, very cool.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for joining us, and I look forward to speaking with you soon.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Trent. I appreciate the opportunity and thank you for your partnership.
Of course. Thank you.